Most days after work, I go to the gym or go for a walk. I'm really into fitness, so I always try to do something active. What about you? What do you do to switch off at the end of the day?
To switch off, I either go for a walk or a run in the park. I read a book, listen to some music.
Well, by the end of the day, I love to be outdoors, like to exercise, so go for either a walk along the beach or maybe a swim at the beach or maybe a cycle or something like that.
If I've had a busy day, I like to come home, shut the door and have a long hot bath.
I like to read non-fiction, like to read autobiographies. I read that a lot. Sometimes I just like hanging out with friends and just cooking a good meal and just taking it easy.
At the end of the day, perhaps read a book. Weekends, like to go walking.
To switch off, I enjoy listening to music a lot, sort of catching up with friends as well. But also, to really switch off, I like to sit down, close my eyes and just like do nothing, you know, relax.
What kinds of things in your life make you feel free?
I really like cycling. I love cycling around the countryside, also just being with people that I love, doing new things that I haven't done before, and yeah, being outdoors, I think.
I suppose my life is quite regimented. So I have to do this thing and then I have to remember that tomorrow I have to do that other thing. So what makes me feel really free and alive is the unexpected. And the really wonderful thing is when you think you've got to do a whole lot of things and they're cancelled or postponed, and suddenly you think, I've got an afternoon in which I can do whatever I like. It doesn't really matter what you do. You can just wander around, but that is liberating.
When I can give people a voice, people who can speak up for themselves, refugees, people who are oppressed, and the disadvantaged. That's why I've switched a little bit from my career as a journalist at a daily newspaper to work as a Peace Corps volunteer.
A few days ago, I went to the sea, so I suppose for me, looking out into the sea is something that makes me feel like there's a lot of space, that I have a lot of space. Also nature, going into the forest, you know, being with a good company who can listen is really important as well.
Go outdoors, exercise, play golf, cycle. We live near a lake and a beach, so we like to be out near either, just to be outdoors or maybe travel. That, you know, makes you feel alive.
In what period of your life have you felt the most free?
I think I've felt the most free whilst being at university. It's been a great opportunity to meet people, to travel to places with friends that I've met here, and just to learn. When I'm in a learning environment, I think that's the freest you can be. So, yeah.
I think in two periods. I think in my late teens and early 20s, as a student, it seemed anything and everything was possible. Wonderful period. Middle life, lots of responsibilities, so I felt less free. But now in my 50s, there's a kind of new, more freer period where there is space to travel and do kind of unexpected things, which is really enjoyable.
Oh, when I moved to the United States in 1990, where I could enjoy press freedom, where I could write stories without thinking about, you know, being arrested or being interrogated like I experienced in Liberia.
I probably felt most free when I was 19 or 20. I was studying art at college and I was doing what I wanted every day and I had no responsibilities.
Do you think young people have more freedom now than in the past?
I think we do have a lot more freedoms in terms of freedom of speech and expression via the internet even, accessing information, and also transport-wise, I think, compared to my grandparents and people in the older generation who didn't have, for instance, monetary access to flights, you know, which is a lot cheaper these days. So, yeah, we are a lot more free, I think. I'd like to think.
I think teenagers, the teenagers that I know have less freedom than I had when I was a teenager. They seem to be driven everywhere by their parents, whereas we were out on our own all the time.
With the advancement of social media and cell phones and all kinds of multimedia, I mean, kids are they can just take the whole world apart, regardless of what regime they live under. So it's just amazing at how technology has changed the world.
I think so. I think they have more freedom. I think they probably have more fun.
I think it's a yes and no answer. I think in some ways advances in technology give them a lot more freedom to travel, communicate through the internet, phones. But on the other hand, my younger daughter, who's 27 now, has only just been able to leave home because finding somewhere to live is so difficult and so expensive. So I think young people have got it pretty tough in lots of ways.